There's a big old pond situated in the state of Louisiana where all those old Cajuns live. That's one of the swampiest, fishiest looking places you've ever seen. We're going there on this week's episode, and guess what? I think we're gonna catch some and show you how you can catch them as well. Gonna be a lot of fun this week. Glad you're along with us. From Louisiana, Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey, I'm really pumped to have you along with us today because we're taking you to a great fishing lake that I've only been to one time. This is the greatness of Darbone Lake. It's situated about a half hour north of Ruston, Louisiana, and it has got all kinds of fish swimming around in it. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. We've got the Bass Tracker Pro Team 195 already launched and ready to roll right here. It's the perfect boat for this lake because it's loaded with old cypress knees and stumps, and this thing rides really light right over the top of those with no problem. Check this out too. This is a great new place. I've never been here before, but we're staying at Darbone Point. You can see the beautiful little cottages and cabins right on the shore of Darbone Lake. We'll show you more of that a little bit later. Got a lot to do today. I've got two strategies working. I'll explain that in just a minute. Also in the next half hour, we're going to be taking you around the region for all your local latest fishing reports, both fresh and saltwater, from our expert team of insider reporters from your local lakes, rivers, and bays. Right now, I'm taking the Tracker Pro Team 195 out on Darbone Lake. Get things started. We get you started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
According to the Lunar tables, you could see excellent fishing action this weekend at the lake. Look for peak morning hours to begin very, very early, and again at 2:29 on Saturday afternoon and 3:18 p.m. on Sunday. Expect the sun to rise at 6:19 and set at 8:35. And evenings will be bright with a full moon on Friday. We've got fishing reports from around the area on the way. Plus, we'll talk catfishing on this week's Ask the Pro. Back in a bit.
So here's my game plan. We're gonna idle out here, get just off the channel, and try some crappie fishing first. I've got my Be Ready rod holders. We're gonna set those up, get some long poles out, explain all that to you. We're gonna do some long lining, see if we can catch a couple of these big, legendary Darbone crappie. Then, if that goes well, we'll do a little bass fishing later on in the show. Stay with us. Quick break, word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to get it all started.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Luz, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Jean LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
All right, well, chunk. That is a Louisiana special right there. Fish on, yes. Oh, it had a hit, and that was weird. He kind of hit it, and he didn't have it. And then I picked it up, and he slammed it again. All right, hey, welcome back, everybody. We're on Lake Darbone today. Oh, yeah, look at this. That's what we came here for. Hey, look at that. That's a slab toad right there, boys and girls. All right, there's a Darbone special for you right there. I'm going to try to keep the boat from running away with me here. All right, well, chunk. That is a Louisiana special right there. Little old stroller right there. I'll show that to you at the end. But, oh, I love you guys. You are such a, look at that, big old fat belly. They're eating shad out here, tons of shad. You can actually see the bait fish on the graph. And we're not keeping them today, and that's too bad because that, as Wally Marshall says, would make the grease stink. But we're putting them back today, so back that buddy goes. Well, we're out here doing something that a lot of folks in Louisiana don't do very much. And I was tipped off by a couple of the locals and by some tournament fishermen that did real well here in one of the big national crappie tournaments. But we're actually long lining. So if we can back up here, you can see I'm using my Motor Guide XI5 trolling motor, and I've got 4 rods out. Got 2 rods out on this side, and then I'm running 2 rods on this side in a rod holder, and I've got them in a pattern. I've got a 14-footer all the way out, and I've got an 11-footer back in here. So I'm covering some water there, and then I've got a 14 and an 11 on the other side. And I'm using these 1/8 ounce Moglo jig heads, and I figured out that if I can go about 0.8 miles an hour, 0.8 of a mile an hour, and I can set my Lowrance Elite TI up to show me speed over ground, and I'll just troll through these areas at 0.8 miles an hour. And these are fish that are basically just roaming the flats up here. They're not really doing anything except living. They're just eating and feeding, roaming up and down these flats. And you just cover a lot of ground this way. It's a great way. You can just fan out, troll around, set your trail on your fish finder and see where you've been and just kind of mark your trail along. And if you catch a couple, you can double back, circle through that area and see if you can catch some more. So Darbone's a great lake. It's a great crappie lake, a great bass lake, just all kinds of good fishing in this lake. I'm gonna give you lots more information about it, but got a big old crappie for you right there. Hey, let's get you fishing and lake reports from an insider reporter right where you live.
Hey, when you got the high lake levels in our big impoundments in Oklahoma in June, like we do, you got to get pretty excited about knowing that you can find and catch white bass. One of my very favorite things to do. That's exactly what's happening right now at many of our places across the state as they start to pull those lake levels down. It's pulling the water out of those flooded areas, which means it's starting to really congregate the bait fish, and those white bass school up around those areas, get really thick and pretty easy to catch. Great example, recent outing to Fort Gibson Lake. Went to the very back of the creek. I saw egrets on the bank. I saw pelicans swimming around and a few gulls diving. I knew I had the shad located. Now for this, I really like to throw the Bobby Garland stroller. Great pearl shad colors are ideal for right now. I personally like the bluegrass color a lot because it fits our watercolors really well. Fish it on a 1/8 or 3/16 ounce jig head. You can either troll it or you can cast it, and it works really well for those conditions. Just a steady retrieve. The best luck we have seemed to be if we were staying in 6 to 9 foot of water. A lot of shad were shallower than that, but the white bass were congregating in those little bit deeper pools around those shallows where all the shad were. You could catch them in good numbers. Also, what's really cool about this time of the year, you can really catch those regardless of how experienced you are. Get the whole family out there. Enjoy white bass fishing in Oklahoma as they pull those waters down, because you can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
0.7, 0.8 miles an hour. There's one right there. All right, I'll come on this side. Oh, that's a good pull. Good pull. All right, well, we've got another one. As you can see, if you're gonna come to this lake, if you're gonna navigate, if you're gonna drive your outboard engine, you've gotta stay inside these poles. They're marked with green and red on them. Everywhere else, you're likely to hit a stump. Look at this crappie here. Another good one right there. All right. And same thing, if you're gonna long line like this, if you don't want to get hung, you pretty much need to stay along the edges of these places that don't have as many stumps. And I'm actually long lining in open water right now, but I'm just off the channel. So the channel is literally, in fact, I don't know if you can see these poles right here, but there's 2 poles. That's the channel. And I'm just no more than 20, 30 yards off the channel. And just going up and down that channel right where it drops off. I'm in about 11 to 15 feet of water. And these fish are right there off the edge of that channel. They can run off in that deep water, run up on the side to feed. Good one right there. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. We've showed you the big Darbone crappie that you can catch. That's just a big toad right there. Showed you a couple of those. We've caught several more. We're gonna take a quick break right here. When we come back, we're gonna go bass fishing. See what the bass are like in Darbone, see what we can show you there as well. So stay with us. This one, oh, I hate to do this. Oh, this kills me. Barely got him hooked. Got him. All right, look at that dude. fish on, got him. Look at that. Right out here in that grass. Good one. Easy. Barely got him hooked. Got him. All right, look at that dude. Man, that dude rolled up there and ate that rattling crawler. How about that? There's you a darbone. Beautiful, green looking, gold looking fish. What a great fish right there for you. Darbone, folks. All right, well, go right over here and put him back where you can watch him swim away in that gold colored water. Everything around me looks like it ought to hold a bass. I'm telling you, look right here. See all this green flowery stuff? You just barely see it. Little bit of scattered stuff. That's where he was. Right in the edge of that green vegetation growing up. It looks like maybe the beginnings of some little tiny lily pads. But I'm telling you, see those? There's reeds. Behind that, there's cypress trees. Behind us, there's a huge cypress forest back here. Everything around here looks bassy. And there's bass in here. So we're off to a good start on the bass. There's little channels, ditches running all down through here, but it's pretty shallow. I'm only in 3 feet of water right now. So you're gonna be fishing shallow if you come here. Just going down here and fishing all the obvious looking stuff, just regular, easy bass fishing. This is not highly technical and not anything really difficult about this. I'm gonna do some more of it though, while you're checking out your local fishing containers.
Hi folks, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Chili Cheeks, the innovative cooling cushion. It makes a great Father's Day gift for the golfer or fisherman in your family. Take extra inserts and Chili Cheeks can keep you cool all day long in these hot Texas summers. Now we've come here to Lake Ray Roberts this morning. We're fishing for bass early with both buzzbaits and poppars. We've caught a few fish, now we're transitioning down in the water column, spinnerbaits and Cincos, chartreuse on the spinnerbait with a Cinco in watermelon red and a dip of chartreuse. What we've really come to do will start in just a couple of hours though. That's the sand bass. Somewhere around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, there are acres of schooling sand bass here on Ray Roberts. You can see them from miles away or use your electronics to find them before they show up on the surface. For those surface fish, use your tiny torpedoes in clear or a chrome blue or chrome black type color. Before they're surfacing, a simple 1 ounce slab in either a chartreuse, a white, or an emerald green and silver will do all the sand bass action you need right here on Lake Ray Roberts. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you again by Chili Cheeks, the innovative cooling cushion.
Got it. He got it. He came back and got it. Not much of a fish. Oh, sorry about that, little buddy. I didn't mean to whop you. All right, well, we've still got bass working here at Darbone. There's just a little, boy, he's a fatty for a small fish like that. Back that little dude goes. Gonna go to a quick break right here, but before we do, I wanna mention where we're staying, because the best place on the lake to stay, without a doubt, it's Darbone Point. And they've got places for RVs, they've got a boat ramp, they've got a swimming pool. But the best thing about it is, I don't know what you call them, condos, cottages, whatever, but they are really nice, top end, fully appointed on the inside, satellite TV, fully equipped kitchens, a couple of bedrooms, big TVs. It's where we stay when we come here, and it's where you ought to stay, and there's all the information. You can contact Kendall and all his folks, the information you see on your screen. Stay with us. Back to Darbone Lake, Louisiana right after this.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Motor Guide, because accuracy matters. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
Cool, he came out of there and ate it. Oh, and he swam in a bush. Cool, he came out of there and ate it. Oh, and he swam in a bush. He's still there. He's on around some of that grass. All right, hey everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're on Lake D'Arbonne right now. There he comes. He's not a monster or anything. All right, look at that. There's your little grassy chunk right there. Well, let me explain just a little bit about how we're fishing right now. I want to show you where right up on it. Look right here. Some real soft, dead-looking stuff. It grows in these big beds, and these bass will roam the edges of it. What I'm doing is I'm pitching it right down the edge of it. They'll bite a spinnerbait, they'll bite a worm, but what I'm doing right now is swimming a little creature bait. This is a Gene LaRue rattling crawler. I'll show it to you up close at the end of the show, but it's got some little kicking legs on it, and it just kind of swims its way along like a frog, and you're going to be fishing along the edge of all this grass and cover that you can see, and I'm just pitching it out there and kind of swimming it along that outside edge, and boy, that one just came out and tattooed it. How about that? Fishing and Lake Report time for you.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, don't give up on spots that afford protection from our fickle winds. It looks as though Mother Nature continues to stir things up. On days when the winds are higher, fish behind barrier islands. Fish the shallow back lakes or marshes. Fish the intracoastal waterway around protected spoil islands, and fish the flats for redfish. Now, when the winds are light, to start the day, Lighthouse Cove and the Sabine Channel continue to produce. San Luis Pass and the surrounding bays are starting to pay off. So are the back marshes and bays out of Freeport. Mid-bay reefs from East Matagorda to San Antonio Bay are holding trout. The land cut continues to provide refuge on windy days. Out of Port Mansfield, the flats south of East Cut to the Arroyo have been productive. Three Islands, Long Bar, and near Cullens have provided good options for those drifting with live, cut, or artificial bait. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, have a single tide schedule of one high and one low tide each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the How-To button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Doug would like to know, if I'm only catching small catfish in an area, should I move or wait it out for a big one? For the answer, we asked Trophy Catfish Guide Chad Ferguson.
If you're only catching smaller fish and you're fishing for channel catfish, sit on them, go ride them out. My grandfather told me one time when I was fishing for channel catfish to never leave feeding fish. And I think that's true in a lot of scenarios, because a lot of times you really have to weed through those numbers to get to the larger fish. And the further south you go, where we don't have very large populations of larger channel catfish, that's really going to be true. Now, where blue catfish are concerned, I will typically go out and look for larger fish if I'm not catching fish. If I'm into numbers and they're mostly smaller fish and I want to catch big fish, I'm going to use my side scan sonar and the other technologies available to me, and I'm going to really get out there and pinpoint those larger fish so I can get right on top of them and sit on them to increase my odds of catching a big blue catfish.
Thanks, Chad. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link on the right side of the page, and let us know. Now, one of our viewers wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Hey everybody, we're back at D'Arbonne Point. beautiful location right on the shores of Lake D'Arbonne. And before we get to the Costa Catch of the Week winner for this week, I did want to give you just a quick little look around the inside of one of these cabins or lodges or rooms. I'm not sure what we call these, but it's a great place to stay. A little living area there, television, beautiful kitchen area here, washer and dryer back in the closet back there, big table for everybody to sit around for meals, a balcony to sit out, look at the lake and watch the sun go down. Just a great spot here, right here at D'Arbonne Point at Lake D'Arbonne. It's time right now for this week's Costa Catch of the Week winner. He is Carter Swanson of Ardmore, Oklahoma, showing a 10-pound largemouth bass he caught at Lake Murray in southern Oklahoma in a tournament, and yes, he won the tournament. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click in the Costa Catch of the Week area, send us your big fish photo, and you could be our next winner. And you can see all of the Costa frame and lens styles at their website. Just go back to the front page of our website and click on the Costa logo. It's there you'll see all of the 580 polycarbonate and glass lenses and all the beautiful and different frame styles that they have to offer, including the frame style I was wearing on this week's episode. It's called Crappie. Next up, it's our gear feature, and we'll show you the gear to catch both crappie, the big ones like we caught here on D'Arbonne, and the bass that we caught as well. Now for the crappie, we basically used one bait on the long lining technique that we showed you. This is the 1/8 ounce Bobby Garland Mo-Glo jig head. We use several colors in that jig head, and on the back of that for the plastic trailer, we use the Bobby Garland stroller. The best two colors seem to be a pearl white color and a chartreuse. For the bass, we used one bait all day. It was the Jean LaRue Rattlin' Crawler. We rigged it on a 1/8 ounce bullet or worm head weight, a 3/0 worm hook, an offset worm hook, and we rigged it Texas rigged and then swam it across those grass beds to catch the bass. Here's your quiz for the day. Everybody's heard the phrase, laughter is the best medicine. Who said that? Bet you didn't guess that it's King Solomon from the Bible. That's right, the quote actually comes from Proverbs 17:22. The actual quote says, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Medical science has long proved that laughter produces a chemical in the human bloodstream that relieves stress. Now, there's a lot in our lives that's just not funny. We're bombed with very serious stuff every day of our lives. So we've got to take every opportunity to laugh. And not just to laugh, but laugh at ourselves. It would be good for you and me to make sure that the next time the joke is on us. And thanks for joining us from Louisiana. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.